Yo, what up, y'all? Bird Dog MMA, we back. Apologize for the little 2 week absence. I was on a vacation and I got a little sick towards the end. And if I'm not fully committed to something and my focus isn't fully on it, I don't want to give you guys half-ass plays. So I thought it would be better to just put nothing out at all instead of putting something out just because. So just know that if I'm putting these picks out, I did a ton of research and they're thorough, all right? I only like to give you guys the best, but we're going to keep this short and sweet because it is fight day. And we have a lot of changes that I'm not even going to cover. I'm just going to go with my original script that I worked on this week, get the video out. And yeah, I'll give you a few parlays, a few plays I really like. And if you want to see all my plays, just check out my Patreon, all right? So first fight of the night, we got Silva versus Barboza. Silva at around minus 200. I think that's a great, just straight money line play if you want to play it. If not, that's also a great parlay piece. Also, the over in women's MMA fights, I always love as well. Then we got Edson Barboza, baby, versus Close. Two sinking ships going at it. After hearing, revisiting that injury that Jakar got from Jeremy Stevens, it was concerning. But then I looked back into it, watched some fights after he came off that 2 year layoff. He doesn't look like the most athletic guy, so he doesn't look good on film per se. But if you watch Edson's last fight versus oh my gosh, he's fighting tonight. Why am I drawing a blank on it? Oh, versus Lerone Murphy. I draw the blanks on the biggest fighters. Yeah, if you watch his fight against Lerone Murphy, he really doesn't look like the Edson of past. He looks like his reaction time is a little slower. He doesn't wear the damage as he used to. Those kicks don't come out of nowhere like they used to. And Close doesn't look super athletic, but one thing he does look like, he looks like he can smother you against the cage. He likes to pressure you. And I think eventually that can melt Barboza. So I do have a play on that. I'll go over towards the end. I might give you a few freebies. All right. Then we got Hooper Hernandez, the Gooner. We all know Hooper's ground game is prolific. I know Hernandez has a real strong base and he's always looking to defend takedowns. But if Hooper gets this to the ground, the fight is over, I think. This is a very confident play for me. Hernandez does have solid striking, but he's so tense in the way he stands and he's just always looking to hit you with all his might. And I think that eventually will wear him down. I don't think his power is that good to really hurt Hooper enough to where he isn't going to continue to come forward and try to get him to the ground. So it's not enough to scare me away from just parlaying Hooper straight up. So that's one of my big parlays in Hooper. Then we got Andrade versus Godinez. I love Jessica in these spots. Everybody loves to fade her. I had her the last time where she came out in the Jiri card versus Pereira. Huge underdog. And she came out and did it for me. So I'm going to take her again. She's coming back down to strawweight. She does better against grapplers there because of the 10-pound difference. And she's known for these y'all forgot moments. So at those odds, I saw them. I saw she's coming down. She's cutting weight, taking it serious. Give me Jessica Andrade, money line. All right, let's go. Then we got Meerschaert versus Mikey O. This one's a little tough to call. So I kind of played the fence here. I'll give you a little freebie here. I did do a special bet on this. A little knockout sub action where if Mikey O gets the knockout, we hit. If Meerschaert gets the sub, we hit. Meerschaert does have good grappling, but his last real win, if you think about it, was 2021. All right, now hear me out. And that's because he's beaten Bruno Silva, who's not a real fighter, since 2021. This is who he's beaten. Bruno Silva, not a real fighter. That doesn't count. Brian Barberena, Mr. Life Alert. He falls and he cannot get back up, which is perfect for Meerschaert. And then he fought Edmund Shabazian, who basically had him finished at the end of the second. And somehow lost because I don't know what's wrong with his lungs. So since 2021, those are his wins, which are losses. That's like 7 losses since then. So I just can't in good faith bet against Mikey O, who's training with the fighting nerds right now. He's starting to take his, he's not training in garage anymore. He's 7 years younger. He's denser. He's a way better striker. And I feel like after 1 or 2 takedown attempts, Meerschaert doesn't really shoot for him anymore. So I think if he can, last around, keep it on the feet, I think the knockout is there. All right, so I really do like Mike. All right, then we're going Elliot Asakura. I think this is a very straightforward one, another big parlay piece. Asakura is big enough to, just keep Elliot off. not let the wrestling get to him. I know Elliot's real funky. How he fights is cool. I do like his fighting style. But I think Esakura bounces back and gets a dub here. Then we got Cannonier Page. This is another good one I like. I really like Page here. Cannonier is really flat-footed. He generates his power by staying flat-footed, right? So he's always very planted in the center of the octagon, looking to really dig his heels and turn his heel, swing for the fences. And he's not necessary. We all know he's not a grappler. He can clinch Page against the cage, but I don't think he's fast enough or light-footed enough to even get Page against the cage. I know MVP is undersized, but if you watch the weigh-ins, MVP is the much taller fighter. And he has that bladed stance, bouncing in and out. And I think Cannonier said he's going to try to close the distance. I think if you try to do that to Page, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets knocked out here. I think he's fast enough to stay out the outside and either punish him for 3 rounds, get the decision, or knock Cannonier out, to be completely honest. And then we got Neil Prates, again, making this quick. Prates does have good power. This is my sketch call of the week, guys. Prates has great power. I do know that. I do know Prates is good at stalking his opponents and backing his opponents up. But Prates has no grappling. And Neil, he is faster. He has a great chin. He's a veteran. Hot take. He's a better boxer. Neil has cage clinching. Don't let this be a Jeff Neal fight where you see Jeff Neal's black back muscles clenched up and Prates looking over at his corner on how to get out against the cage, right? And it's round 2. And Prates has only thrown 8 significant strikes. Neil has more ways to win, and he's a plus 200. He probably isn't anymore because I think people are catching on. But I'll take my chances. I'm going to go unit on Neil. That's my free play. I am going to unit on Neil. I'd highly advise you not to do that. But one thing I do want to tell you guys is I think Prates is going to be a big parlay buster this week. I don't think he definitely is, but when you got guys like Asakura, Page, who else? You have Hooper. Like, those 3 alone are a solid parlay. I don't know why throw Prates in. Like, he's very low output. He's always looking for the kill, and he's very confident in the kill shot because he does get it a lot. But if that doesn't happen, I can see easily a situation where Neil starts running away with it. Prates starts getting desperate, just like he did against Ian Gary. And you can see Prates, he's a very good sniper, but he's not necessarily a good boxer, right? Ian Gary didn't win just because of his grappling in that fight. Prates actually did a decent job at stuffing the takedowns. He lost that fight because he couldn't box as good as Ian Gary. He's used to stalking people, backing them against the cage, throwing that heavy left kick, low kick, throwing that heavy left hand, backing people up, making them scared. He hasn't fought the best competition yet. And for a generally unproven guy with a lot of hype, a lot of talent, I do like his fighting style. I feel comfortable taking a veteran at plus 200 who's shown that he's a faster hands. He has a thorough chin. Like I said, his hands are faster. He's technically a better boxer. I'm comfortable fully doing a full unit on Neil. And if it doesn't hit, I'm not crying about it. But if it does hit, like, we're legends, boys. We're legends. All right, so give me Jeff Neal. Then we got Murphy Pico. Pico's explosive. He's good at wrestling, but he is plotty on the feet. I saw him film. And he is good at grappling, but he's not very good at holding his opponents down. That's the thing with American wrestlers. Pico can get the single leg. He could get on it very nicely, and a double leg, single leg, high crotch, whatever. He could get into all those positions, and he could finish them very well, but from there, usually in an American wrestling match, the match is over, right? You're pinned, you get back up, shake hands, you wrestle another match, if it's a try, whatever. But in the UFC, if you don't have solid submission offense, when you get people to the mat, where do you go from there? So what I saw in film with Pico is he's very good at getting it to the mat when he wants, but opponents who aren't nearly on the level of Murphy are consistently getting back to their feet. And we've seen Murphy get taken down over and over again and get back to his feet and get back to his feet. And we've also seen, like with Bo Nickel, like that wrestling is good against, other grapplers, right? But what happens when you're fighting an MMA fighter and they know what to do off their back? And he has no submission offense. So if he's not spamming takedowns over and over and over again like a Merab, I don't necessarily see the threat. And if it's on the feet, based off what I saw, he has good power, but it's usually guys, he's knocking guys out. They're really afraid of the grappling. They're backing up because they're so afraid of getting taken down. And then he just starts raining haymakers on them. So I do like Murphy here as an underdog. A little free play for you. That's my underdog of the week. It really wasn't Jeff Neal, but I'm excited about that fight. But yeah, Murphy is my official underdog of the week. I think after round one, he'll be the one pressuring, which will shut down Pico's wrestling style. It's kind of hard to wrestle off the back foot. And I could see this being another Bautista mix situation. I did have Bautista in that one too, because some of these Bellator guys are used to being plotty, just being able to throw power, because they're like, a lot of these fights in the UFC, they don't necessarily happen when strikes are being thrown. A lot of these UFC fights, they're happening in the footwork. They're happening where people are trying to position themselves, right? So that's why I'm going to go Lerone Murphy on there, all right? And I only have 3 more minutes. So let's go Du Plessis Chimaev. If Du Plessis gets out of the first round, bro, I'm telling you, psych, I'm going Chimaev, guys. I'm going 4 units on Chimaev. I'm putting 3 of them on money line, and I'm putting another unit on a sub. I think Dricus Du Plessis, by no fault of his own, has had a tailor-made matchup championship run and title defense streak. Think about it. He's fought all strikers who aren't dangerous, including Adesanya, that enable DDP to do what he does best, get on the front foot and attack. Khamzat isn't going to let that happen. Khamzat will come forward and attempt to blow through Dricus like he always has. He's gotten a takedown in the first minute of every single fight. I think he will have success in doing so. Dricus has shown bad takedown defense against Darren Till and Derek Brunson, who aren't near the level grapplers of Khamzat. I also think that Khamzat has better cardio. I know, hot take. I think he has better cardio than Dricus. I think people are dragging that a little bit. And I think he's just good of a striker. I genuinely do. I think people are kind of dragging out Dricus's advantages here. There, I said it. I'm sorry. I think Khamzat makes this look easy. I do. Somebody on here who made a really good point is Lucas Tracy. I agree with him fully. He said he thinks it's going to be one of those fights where Dricus throws his mouthpiece down because he's frustrated at how fast the fight ended. And that's what happens in these Khamzat fights. It's a tornado. He overwhelms you. And there's nothing you can do about it. No amount of cardio matters, no amount of strength. It doesn't matter. If you can't grapple as good as him, and you can't go toe-to-toe and deny that takedown, or if you don't have that Gilbert Burns jiu-jitsu off the back, he's not threatened by you at all. Like, everybody knows what he's going to do, but it happens to him anyway. I think we're watching, the GOAT in the making. Him and Ilya, I called that years ago. I think those two are about to be the face of the UFC, chance for a very long time. And I'm not buying the Dricus hype. I'm sorry. I think his championship run has been tailor-made. I think a lot of people like him because they hated Izzy, and they associate him making Izzy cry with their great white hope. This is our champion. Like, no offense, guys. That's just what I think it is. All right? And that's cool and all, but when it comes to gambling MMA, guys, you got to separate your hearts from your mind. And my heart and my mind are telling me Khamzat here. So again, those are a few of my free plays. I'll give you a parlay real quick. A little safe parlay is Khamzat and Hooper, the Gooner, all right, who just got knighted in his do-rag. Again, I have bets on every single fight. They're already posted on my Patreon. My link is in my bio. If you want to see all of my bets, just go in there. First week is free. Go in there, bet everything that I did today, and cancel it after the week. I don't care. I do this just because it's fun, and Patreon is just easier putting it all on there. I don't have to go through all these different platforms and whatnot. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I really love doing this for everybody. I love the community, and good luck, guys.